Okay, so yesterday we got into the quadratic formula. I asked you to memorize it. Hopefully you did okay on that assessment, or I might be coming around and have you writing it. I don't know how I'm going to do it just yet. I just know I need to assess you and try to make sure you can't cheat as much as possible. Today you're going to actually use the quadratic formula to solve equations. The only difference is that you're going to have to identify A, B, and C for yourself. This is a small change that our notes will be brief, and our Math Excel won't have but about 5 questions. Hopefully you use today to get caught up on your other assignments. Keep in mind it is tough to catch up on Chapter 9 when you are then working on Chapter 10, 11, or 12. So hopefully with this being our last official lesson, once you finish your Math Excel, you'll go straight there and work as hard as you can, like you were supposed to in the beginning, to actually get this stuff done. Again, I hope you're taking these grades seriously, because I am not changing anything. I am putting what you earn and what you deserve. So just make sure you're doing what you need to do. Other than that, problem 1. It says solve using the quadratic formula. Again, in this case, this is the formula that we start with. So what we have to do is start out by saying what is A, what is B, and what is C. After that, everything is the same as yesterday. Write the formula: negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Substitute using parentheses, so negative 5 plus or minus square root of 5 squared minus 4, 3, negative 8 all over 2 times 3. After you got that far, and once you get this far, you should be safe. Now you simplify your 3 zones. That becomes a negative 5. Under here we don't know, so we type it in. 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 8, I believe is what that is. Yep. And then you get the answer of 121 all over 6. Because 2 times 3 is 6 again. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, leave the root. After that, because the plus or minus does not exist on your calculator, we simply split it. And type those values into our calculator to wrap them up. So negative 5 plus square root of 121 equals, divided by 6 equals 1. Of course, we could probably do that without doing that part. And the other answer is negative 5 minus square root of 121 equals, divided by 6 equals, and we don't want a decimal, we actually want a fraction. So math, enter, which gives me negative 8/3. Now if that does not give me a fraction, then or if it doesn't give me a fraction in that case, then that's fine. But typically whenever you get one nice number or a perfect square underneath, you should probably be given that in fractions. The only time you're going to get a decimal is whenever you have a 120 or a 11 underneath the root. If it's a perfect square, you should have these numbers. Or if you notice that the Math Excel isn't accepting your decimal answer, it's probably because it wants a fractional answer. So again, just keep in mind, try your best to reduce those fractions as much as you can, and that should do it for you. Alright. Other than that, moving on to problem 2, same thing. We have to solve this, but the thing about solving this is the same as usual. There's an elephant here. That has to be over here first, so we're going to rewrite this as x squared minus 10x. If it's positive on that side of the equal sign, then it's going to be negative on this side of the equal sign. That now allows us to find A, B, and C, with A being 1, B being negative 10, C being negative 2. Write the formula, and everything goes just the same way as it always has. The only issue with doing the quadratic formula is the amount of time. The good thing about the quadratic formula is, as long as you're not a person who rushes, you'll get the right answer every single time, no matter what. Negative B, so negative parentheses negative 10, plus or minus square root of negative 10 squared minus 4, 1, negative 2, all over 2 times 1. Simplify your 3 zones, that becomes a positive 10. Got to find out what this is, so parentheses negative 10 squared minus 4, 1, negative 2, which is the square root of 108. Notice that that's not a perfect square, so this is not going to end up nice, but that's fine, all over 2. Once we get there, we split it, and so we do 10 plus root 108 over 2, and we do 10 minus root 108 over 2, which when we do that, 10 plus square root 108 equals some very ugly number. Divide that by 2, and we get 10.19, which I think on the computer, because that 6 bumps it up, you're going to have to put 10.20. because they do want 2 decimal points no matter what, even if it's 0.00. And then 10 minus square root of 108 equals, divided by 2 equals negative 0.20. Again, that 6 bumps it up, and that is where we end up. Alright, so other than that, that's really what you're looking at on that information. Problem 3 again, this is already set up because it does equal 0. Everything's on one side. In this case, A is 3, B is 2, C is 10. Negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A, negative 2, plus or minus square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 10 all over 2 times 3. Simplifying our 3 zones, this becomes a negative 2. What's on the inside of this? We got a C, so we do 2 squared minus 4, 3, 10. Notice that we get a negative number. Again, that is under the radical. Once I get a negative number under the radical, that means that there is no solution possible. And just to make sure, that is 4 minus 12, 120, which does make sense, so no, there's no solution on this one. So if you ever get a negative on your B squared minus 4AC, understand that there is no solution. Notice that we had 2 solutions here. B squared minus 4AC was positive. Every time B squared minus 4AC has been positive, we've had 2 solutions. Every time it's been negative, we've had no solutions. So other than that, go ahead and go straight to your Math Excel after doing the lesson credit for the day. Again, make sure you show me the work. Anybody not showing me the work runs the risk of me giving you 5 questions that you have to do overnight on paper, showing every step if you want credit. So please make sure you show me the work on this so I can critique and fix whatever is going on with your test coming up Friday. Other than that, like I said, go ahead and go to your Math Excel after you hand this in, and make sure you're asking for help. The test is Friday. We want to make sure we do well on this. Good luck.